In this video, we'll cover Add Products to Shopping Cart Part 2. And so here our main focus is on the cart status component. We actually want to update the status, keeping track of the total price and the total quantity for the cart. And we'll cover all this in this set of videos. Here's our development process. The first thing we'll do is we'll create a model class for cart item. We'll develop a cart service. We'll modify the product list component to call the cart service. We'll also enhance our cart status component to subscribe to the cart service. And then finally, we'll update the cart status component HTML to display the cart total price and quantity. Alrighty, so let's kind of get an overview of the application interaction just so you see how all the different pieces work together. So over on the left-hand side, we'll have this product list component that's going to have an add to cart button. And over on the right-hand side, we'll have the cart status component for displaying the total price and quantity. And then down in the center, we'll have the cart service, basically keeps track of all of the items that are in our shopping cart. The way it works here is that the cart status component is going to subscribe for events on the cart service. Then over on the left-hand side, when the product list component, when the user actually clicks on the add to cart button, the product list component is going to call the cart service. The cart service will manually keep track of all the items in the shopping cart, and then it'll publish the events to all subscribers. So one of the subscribers here is the cart status component. The cart status component will receive the event and then update the UE for the total price and quantity. So this is a very common pattern in Angular Developer. Basically here we have the cart service that's an observable and the cart status component is an observer. And we'll see how this actually works out with the actual coding when we move into it. So in step one, we'll create a model class called cart item. This class simply contains the essential fields of a product for use in the cart. And it also has a field for the quantity, and we can use this for kind of keeping track of everything. So effectively, we have X number of widgets in our cart. Alrighty, so in step two, we're going to develop our cart service. So we have this class cart service. So up top, we have our shopping cart. It's simply an array of cart item objects, and we initialize it to an empty array. So it starts out as empty up front. And then we have two entries here for total price and total quantity. There's subjects. So you may wonder, well, what is a subject? Well, a subject is a subclass of observable. And so we can use the subject to publish events in our code programmatically. And then these events will be sent to all of the subscribers. And so I'll actually show you coding in a second on how we can actually publish an event using this subject. You'll see that in a second. And so remember our whole application interaction here. So our cart service is going to publish events for subscribers. So the cart status component, they're going to subscribe for events, and then we'll actually publish events to the subscribers. And we'll see how this coding pulls together in a second. So a bit more on the coding here for cart service. So we'll have this method add to cart. They'll pass in a cart item. And so a couple of things here. We'll check if we already have the item in our cart. So we simply set up a Boolean value here and also an existing cart item, initialize it to undefined. And if the cart item's.length is greater than 0, so we have some items in our cart, let's find the item in the cart based on the item ID. So we simply loop through all of the cart items and we check to see if the temp cart item.id equals the cart item ID. If so, we assign it and then we break out of the loop. Then we check to see if we found it. So we check to see if the existing cart item is not equal to undefined. If not, we assign it true or false. And we'll use this flag in some of the code coming up. And here is that little next segment of code. So if already exists in cart, we simply increment the quantity. Else, we simply add the item to the array. So we say this.cartItems.push the cart item. That adds it to the array. And then finally here we compute the cart quantity and the cart total. So we call this method this.compute cart totals. And we'll actually write the code for this one on the next slide.